The words lingered in the twilight air, heavy as the silence that followed them. "I need more," Alex had said, eyes avoiding mine, as if looking elsewhere would soften the blow. "I need space." What does that even mean? The cliché rolled over my tongue, unfamiliar and bitter. More space. Was I never enough? Numbness settled over disbelief as Alex turned away, a parting that felt more like an amputation than a gentle distance. I watched the door close, a quiet punctuation to an unspoken goodbye. The days that followed stretched endlessly, a relentless tide of solitude punctuated by the memory of our shared moments. I occupied the void with fragments of our past, trips unplanned, laughter unscripted, and comfort found in the quiet understanding between words. But in the depths of my heart, I knew those pieces could not rebuild what was irretrievably lost. On a rainy Thursday, beneath a sky as grey as morning doves, I made a decision. Quietly, resolutely, I chose to walk away, not just from Alex, but from the version of myself defined by absence and longing. It was time to reclaim what echoed of me, even if every step felt like traversing an unknown landscape. I poured myself into the art I once loved, but had allowed to fade under the weight of I began to paint again, sweeping bold colors across the canvas, each stroke cathartic and raw, siphoning the hurt from my chest onto the forgiving surface. My small apartment transformed into both studio and sanctuary, a place where I could redefine the boundaries of my own existence. Pain became an unlikely muse, urging me towards change. It whispered truths in the quiet of the night, wrapped in the shadows of dreams unremembered by dawn. Slowly, subtly, I began to reshape what it meant to be whole. To be enough for myself. The days turned into months, and then years. I grew in ways that surprised even me, found grounding in friendships I had let languish, and carved out space for laughter and light. I built a life that shimmered with quiet contentment. Yet beneath it all, there was a thread of yearning tightly woven, a question left unanswered, a line still drawn in faint regret. Then, one crisp autumn afternoon, fate wove our paths together once more. It was at a small cafe snugged between bookshops and boutiques, known more for its eclectic charm than its coffee. The scent of roasted beans and vanilla lingered in the air as I stood in line, pondering new beginnings painted by aging leaves. Alex walked in, and time seemed to slow, settling into the quiet cadence of the years that stretched between us. They had changed, so had I, but the recognition was instant, familiar, like the opening notes of a well-loved song. As Alex turned, their gaze met mine, eyes widening in surprise, shadowed with something that looked like regret. "I didn't expect," Alex began, the words faltering as if caught between what was and what might have been. I simply nodded, acknowledging both the past and the present, the unspoken history that unfurled between us. "I needed more," they said, a ghost of their younger self echoing in the weary admission. Emotion flickered across their face, a silent apology. A desire to explain. But I found the sharp edges of hurt had smoothed over time. Did you find it? I asked softly, not out of resentment, but a genuine curiosity. The air felt charged, tense yet oddly liberating. Alex hesitated, the pause heavy with unfulfilled searches and paths untrodden. I'm still. They trailed off, a hesitant smile forming, not quite reaching their eyes. I understood then, in a way I couldn't have before. Sometimes, the more we seek isn't found in space, but what we choose to nurture within. We parted without words, an understanding bridged by silence. As I stepped back into the afternoon light, leaves rustling like the applause of unnamed victories, I found closure not in confrontation, but in acceptance, the grace born from new beginnings not hindered by what was left behind. Quietly, powerfully, I walked away, reaffirmed. No longer defined by the loss, but by the boundless capacity to redefine, to grow, and to embrace the space within myself that was always enough.